Hey, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's Reverend Kent.
And Reverend Deanna.
And we're so glad to be with you to tell another great story.
We have a good one tonight.
It is. This is Probity Jones and the Fear Not Angel. I had to shorten it on the title you see below you there because we couldn't get Jones to fit. Sorry.
It's a pretty short name.
I know.
What does probity mean?
Probity is an old name, but it's a character trait. It means someone of strong moral character, someone of good upright character. So it's a lot of it's like those old names when people were named Felicity or things like that. People named after. It was very popular.
Integrity.
Yes, it was very popular in the Puritan times to name people after honest qualities. So people might know Loyal Jones or even prosperity or mercy. Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Yeah. So we're really glad that everybody could be with us, and we are doing our Advent calendar. You see Errol is over there in his Advent basket, and tonight on the
having an Advent bath.
That's right. As we pull out December 8th, we found starfish. Finally the starfish. These are celestial starfish, obviously, all made by our friend Debonair. And so we will put the celestial starfish in the celestial sky. There they are. So now the trees have lights. So that's very great. That's just wonderful.
We will call it the starfish cluster.
We will. Well, tonight we are reading this wonderful story, but before we do that, we have an angel to put on the tree.
We do. Would you like to hold it up?
Sure. Take a look, you guys. This is the angel that we're going to put on our tree, and you'll see that it looks a lot like the Fear Not angel that we're about to hear a story about. So without further ado, we'll put her on the tree after we're done.
Yep.
All right. Well, here is Bookcam to load us up here with the Fear Not angel. Settle in and let's enjoy this great story.
The whole family was getting dressed to go out. Everyone except Probity. Probity Jones was sick. Her mother had told her she was too sick to leave the apartment tonight. I'm sorry, child, her mother had said. You're burning with fever and it's colder than 0 outside. Oh, Mama, I got to go, Probity begged, trying to sit up. I've been planning this for weeks. I memorized all the words. I can say them perfectly. Please, Mama, please let me go with you. Then her mother heaved a sorrowful sigh.
Oh, no.
It was the kind of sigh that always made Probity feel bad. Her mother was worn out from working, worn out from taking care of her 4 children alone, worn out from being forever and ever poor. How could Probity argue with such a sigh? Baby, her mother said, when I lost your daddy to sickness, I promised God I'd never lose another soul. I'm keeping the family whole, and you are staying home tonight. So that was final.
Here's the picture. And now Probity could hear her sisters laughing in the kitchen. Snip, 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 snip. That was Elfrida. Snip the tinfoil, make a star, cover it with the glitter. Ugh. Probity lay on the sofa in the front room. It was dark outside, and Probity was watching the white moon through the window. It shined on the snowy tops of the evergreen trees, but it moved all alone in heaven. Probity thought, the moon is as lonely as I am. Oh. Just then, her little brother started to yell, "Where's my bathrobe? Where's my Who stole my bathrobe? I can't go without my bathrobe, you know that." Elfrida said, "Go ask Probity. Girls who lose expensive coats are liable to steal bathrobes too."
Ew.
Stealing a lost an expensive coat?
The kitchen door burst open. Light rushed into the front room. So did Probity's brother with his lip stuck out. "Probity!" He marched to the sofa and gave her a punch on the shoulder. "Did you steal my bathrobe to wear to church tonight on account of you lost your own coat?" "No, Charles." Probity felt like crying. "I don't have your bathrobe, and I'm not going with you tonight." Charles's eyes grew large. "Why not?" he said. He grabbed his sister's nightgown. "Probity, you got to go." "I can't," she said. "'Cause you lost your coat? 'Cause Mama's mad at you? You can wear my bathrobe. I don't mind." "No, Charles, it's because I'm sick." Her little brother got tears in his eyes. "But I'm scared without you, Probe," he said. "You and me, we're supposed to say the words together. How can I say the words without you?" Probity touched his cheek and said, "Say them now." Charles frowned. He said, Let us go." He paused and frowned harder. Let us go now. Let us now go." And then he wailed, "Oh, Probity, I don't know it. I can't say it without you." "Shh," said Probity. "Listen to me. Let us go. Let us now go, even into Bethlehem." But Charles only howled louder and tried to pull his sister off the sofa. "I need you, Probe. I really need you." Then their mother came into the room with a wrinkled cotton bathrobe. "Baby brother, you can lay me in my grave," she sighed. "Take this and dress your sorry self. Hurry, we leave in 2 minutes."
Charles ran from the room yelling, "I'm gonna mess up! Nobody cares if I mess up!"
Oh.
Poor baby. Probity's mother gazed at her a while. "I'm not mad at you for losing the coat," she said. "I'm just worried. I don't know how to get you another one." She leaned down, kissed her daughter in the middle of the forehead. "Miss Johnson down the road on the second floor, she knows you're home. I asked her to look in on you so you get well, little sister. I love you. You know I do." It was Christmas Eve. Tonight the children were going to church to be in the Christmas pageant. Charles and Carolyn and Elfrida, supposed to be shepherds. Charles had the speaking part, and Probity had been picked to be the Fear Not Angel. The best part she'd ever had in her life. She had memorized the words, "Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy." But her mother was right. She was very sick. She was very sick all over. Her bones ached. Her brains felt woozy. She was sweaty cold. Now, Elfrida popped into the front room and shined a flashlight on her grinning face. "See the sparkles?" she said. Sure enough, Probity saw tiny twinklings of glitter in her sister's hair. Elfrida waved a stick that had tinfoil on at the end of it and also covered with glitter. "My invention," she said. "This is the star that the wise men followed to Bethlehem. Everybody says it's a good thing you messed up, Probe. I'll make a better angel than you. I know how to dress pretty, and I don't lose my clothes. Bye." Ooh, sisters, man.
Oh, man.
Love them, love them.
The kitchen light went off. The back door opened and shut. Then the whole family clattered down the apartment stairs, past Miss Johnson's place on the second floor, past the Alvarez's on the first, and out into the snow. Probity could hear them laughing as they walked off to church. She stared at the moon, perfectly round in the lonely sky, perfectly white. Glitter sparkled in the darkness. 10 million stars, 10 million bits of ice. Probity Jones felt miserable. She began to shiver. No matter how many blankets covered her, she felt as if she were outside without a coat. And that, of course, is exactly what happened to her yesterday.
School had let out early for the Christmas holidays, and Probity Jones was walking home through a dangerous neighborhood. She should not have gone alone, and she surely should not have been wearing her new coat. She had spent the whole morning showing it off to everybody at school, and at 12 noon it started to snow. Then 3 boys began to follow her, so Probity made her feet go faster. "Wait, wait," the boys hollered. "We just want to talk." Probity clutched her school bag and she ran as fast as she could. They ran too, smooth as athletes, laughing and calling, "Give it up, girl. We're the marathon men. Ain't no one can escape from us." The snow was falling harder now. Probity cut down a narrow alley and kept on running until she heard nothing but her own steps. She stopped. She stood still, holding her breath, listening. The snow was like curtains. But suddenly 2 boys appeared behind her and one in front, yelling, "Ha! Where you think you going, girl?" "Home," Probity Jones said. "I'm going home." The loud boy grabbed her bag and opened it. "How you planning to get home?" he sneered. "Walking," said Probity. She felt like she would cry soon. Give me back my bag." The boy pulled out her papers and threw them to the wind, then pushed the empty bag against her stomach. No, you don't understand," he growled. "How you plan to pay to get home?" "Pay?" Probity whispered. "Pay? I don't have anything." The boy stood back and roared, "Now you are a liar for sure. Oh, we saw you sashaying up and down the school hall, proud of that coat. The coat, girl, the coat is our pay. Give us your coat and you can go." Her new coat. Probity couldn't even take it off. She could only bow her head and cry. So the boys unzipped the expensive coat. They held her arms back and they pulled off the sleeves and they vanished in the whirling snowfall. The wind was howling. All the city was hidden in white. Probity wore nothing but jeans and a cotton shirt, and now she was lost. It must have been after 2 o'clock when she found her way home, shaking with cold and very sick.
Oh, the baby. So now it was Christmas Eve, and Probity lay in the front room shivering and sweaty, both at once. Even the moon was gone now. Outside and inside, the whole world was lonely, dark, and cold. Probity thought she heard someone knocking in the apartment. There it was again. Poor Probity. Even under the covers she was freezing. But maybe it was Mrs. Johnson, come to check on her. So the child slipped the blankets aside and put her bare feet down on the wooden floor. She started to walk to the kitchen door, but the knocking was right here in the front room. The window? Someone was knocking on the outside of the window. Probity crept over to the window and saw that the snow had begun to fall again, as thick as wool and perfectly quiet. But then, in the midst of the snow, she saw something else. She gasped. Just outside the window was a beautiful person dressed all in white, as bright as the moon, looking back into Probity's eyes. This person smiled, then opened the window on the tips of her fingers and said, "Come, Probity Jones, it's time to go."
What?
Probity could only stare. "Go where?" she whispered. The person outside was as tall as the night. She had wings wider than the dawn, with feathers more silent than snow. Her robes were silken, and over her shoulders she wore a shawl of the softest cashmere.
Ooh.
She bent down and kissed Probity in the center of her forehead. "Why, to the Christmas pageant, of course," she said.
Here's this beautiful picture. The beautiful person reached through the window and gathered Probity up in her arms. She breathed on the child from her head to her feet and toes, and Probity grew warm. The thick snow surrounded them, and the apartment building was swallowed up, and it seemed that they were flying. Yes, they soared so high in the night that the city and all the falling snow down below them went below. They ascended to the pathways of the moon, where the night is kind and 10 million stars are the sizes of children, and everyone was flying eastward. But then Probity glanced down and saw white mountain peaks below her bare feet. She started to whimper. Oh no. But the one who carried her said, "Fear not, Probity. God would never let you fall, and who else but God has invited you to the pageant?" They crossed a sea as deep as dreaming, and then they began to descend over another country, a dark one, a land where the only light was fires, campfires, cook fires, torches. Probity saw round hills in the night, narrow gorges between them, and little villages made out of wood and stone. Faster and faster the hills rose up. They seemed covered with snow. No, not snow. The white on the hills was wool. Ooh. Sheep's wool. Probity was looking at sheep asleep on the hillside, and there beside them were shepherds, too. 3 shepherds keeping watch over the flocks.
By night?
They were. Hush now, whispered the person who had flown them so far, so swift, and so silently with Probity. Hide inside my shawl, child, and watch. You watch.
Lower they sailed to the shepherds on wings as wide as the wind. Brighter and brighter the beautiful person began to shine until the light on the hillside was more glorious than the sun. And all at once Probity knew who this was. This grand and shining figure was the Fear Not angel.
Dum-bum-bum.
The poor shepherds were terrified by the brightness. They dropped to the ground and covered their heads with their arms. But the angel said,
Fear not.
Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy. Wait, Probity knew these words. These were the very words she had memorized for the pageant. Oh, she was happy now. She stuck her head out beneath the angel's throat and sang along as loudly as she could sing. And she and the angel sang together. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. The shepherds lowered their arms and looked up. 2 of them had glitter in their hair. One was wearing an old wrinkled bathrobe. Probity and the angel sang, And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger.
Suddenly all the stars in heaven flew down, 10 million angels the sizes of children. It was as if the whole sky were a great wheel turning and burning. The angels circled the hills and the night and the shepherds, singing, Glory to God in the highest, and peace to the people with whom he is pleased. The shepherds leaped up and raised their hands, worshiping God. Look at those angels, they're everywhere.
This one has glasses like me.
Yes.
And when the roaring chorus was over and the hosts had flown back into heaven and the Fear Not angel too had dimmed her brightness, Probity saw that 2 of the shepherds were smiling, but one was frowning, the one with the wrinkled bathrobe. Her heart was beating hard for that shepherd. He coughed. He rubbed his forehead. He muttered, Let us now go even. Suddenly he threw back his head and shouted at the top of his lungs, Go even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us.
Hooray!
Probity clapped her hands. She clapped and wished that she could kiss the little shepherd. But no one heard her, and all 3 shepherds were already racing over the hills to the north.
Once more the Fear Not angel rose up, carrying Probity still in her shawl of cashmere. They flew north until they stopped above a little village directly over a little stable. It started to snow, a light fall of sparkling snow. Probity saw the shepherds rushing through the village to the stable below. There they bent down and crept in through a low door. A lantern was burning inside. She noticed 3 men coming from the opposite direction, big men, strange, strong. They were pointing up at Probity as if she had something important for them. And immediately, Probity knew what they needed.
What?
They needed a holy light to show them where the baby king was.
I need that too.
Oh, don't we all? So were the wise men searching? These were the wise men searching for Christ the Lord. So Probity whispered in the ear of the Fear Not angel, Please, can we go down some? And can I shine like you for a while? Yeah. The fear-not angel descended through the snow, then set Probity upon the air right over the door of the stable. Ooh. Probity Jones, I'm going to miss you, said the angel. She removed the fine white shawl of cashmere and wrapped it all around the child. This shall be your shining, she said. This shall be your light. The angel vanished in thick snow, leaving Probity and her shawl shining as bright as any star. So the wise men were able to see through the blizzard, and they followed Probity's radiance until they came to the door of the stable. That's the one, they said, the star we followed from the east. Then the wise men, too, like the shepherds, bowed their heads and entered the stable to worship the king. Now it was Probity's turn.
Those fellows look familiar. She wrapped the fine white shawl around herself and walked down the air as if it were steps. She knew what everyone was looking at inside the stable, for hadn't she told the shepherds the news? And hadn't she led the wise men there? Yes, they were looking at the Virgin Mary and at Joseph standing beside her. And there, wrapped in a white cloth, lying in a manger, the beautiful child, the Christ, the King of creation. Dear little Jesus had been born tonight. Probity went forward, prepared to go through the stable door. But the wind howled louder, and the snow blinded her. It swallowed the stable in whiteness. The girl bent her head against the screaming wind. She felt for the sides of the doorway. She grabbed them in her two hands, then put one foot through, though it was so dark inside that she couldn't see anything. Probity drew her other foot in, and suddenly the wind stopped blowing. It was quiet inside, but perfectly dark. Where were the shepherds and the wise men? Where was the baby Jesus? Someone was knocking far away. Someone else wanted to come in. Probity began to feel her way through the darkness toward the knocking, and she bumped into her old sofa. All the covers in a mess. Now she walked on the wooden floor to a door, to the kitchen door.
Probity! Probity! That was her little brother Charles' voice. So Probity Jones switched on the light and ran to the back door of the apartment. She unlocked the lock, took hold of the doorknob, and threw the door wide open. Charles ran straight into the room and grabbed his sister and danced and said, I did it, I did it, I did it, he cried. I said all the words. Oh, Probe, it was just as if you were there with me. Elfrida and Carolyn came in with snow glitter in their shoulders. Girl, you should have heard that angel sing, they said. It was the angel of heaven. It surely was. But behind them, all still framed in the doorway, was Probity's mama. Her eyes bright as diamonds. She was staring hard at her daughter. Child, something happened here, didn't it? Yes'm, did, Probity said. Look at you, baby. Look at my girl in bright new coat. Probity walked forward and pressed her head against her mama's stomach. The woman knelt down and hugged her. What, child? She whispered. What happened tonight? Oh, Mama, the angel of the Lord came down and carried me off to Bethlehem, and Jesus was born, and I was there, and so was Charles, talking so beautiful, and Elfrida and Carolyn, too, and I got to tell the good news to the people. Me, Mama, Probity Jones, I was at the pageant. We were all there together.
Probity wrapped the shining shawl around her mama and herself. And this came from the fear-not angel, she said. Oh, Mama, the angel gave me a piece of herself to keep forever and forevermore.
The end.
The end.
Wow. You ever had an encounter with an angel before?
Not like that.
Boy, that's pretty special.
Wow.
Yeah, this shall be your shining, child. That's my favorite line. Yes. Yeah, well, sometimes it's not clothing that we get. Sometimes the clothes we are wrapped in you can't see. But oh my gosh, love like that makes you shine. Love like that makes you shine. Could be somebody special in your world that does it for you. Could be God. Could be an angel. Maybe you got your own special angel. Maybe it's a starfish angel. You don't know. You don't know. But when you find him, it's going to make you shine. We are so glad to get to spend this time with you because you help us to feel that love and to, I don't know, being together sort of feels like a little warm cashmere around all of our time tonight. Little bit of a story, little bit of a song, little bit of a cat.
That's a whole lot of
That's a whole lot of cat. Okay, well, but that's why we're so warm.
He's more like a bathrobe than a cashmere scarf.
He is a little wrinkly. Well, we hope that you're having a good night, and may the angels watch over you. Fear not.
Yes, indeed.
Fear not.
Fear not.
Do you know that that is what the angels say to the people more than anything else in the Bible? Is fear not. Do not be afraid. So, there's a good message for all of us tonight.
Yes, indeed.
We're going to sing a song about angels, with angels in it. Angels of Seraphim and Cherubim, both of our types of angels, and they watch over us all. Let's sing together. Good night, beloved mine. Good night, sleep well, my dear. Good night, beloved mine. Good night, sleep well, my dear. May cherubim and seraphim watch over you and hover near. Good night, beloved mine. Good night, sleep well, my dear. Have a really good night, you all. Don't forget to share the stories or watch them later and the good ones. Hope you are having a good time taking care of yourself and taking care of others. Be safe.
And be not afraid.
Amen. Good night.